Hi, this is Pete Saldana, sped 533. I'm going to be going over the Wiatt 3 test today, and the Wiatt 3 test is the latest and greatest in the series of Wiatt tests. These tests are used to determine a student's age-based or grade-based level of learning. It's also used to determine if a student has a discrepancy in a certain area. Maybe they're testing high and their achievement in class is low, or vice versa. So anyhow, the Wiatt 2 has several things that come with it. You have the examiner's manual. The examiner's manual has a wealth of knowledge. There's a lot of stuff in here. Among some of the things are interpreting scores. So you have composite scores, standard scores. So this will guide you through, for the most part, any questions you may have about the test itself. The test also comes with a record form. This is what you're going to use to record the data while you're testing. So as you're going through and asking questions to the students, you're going to be writing down the information here. You have a response booklet. This is for the reading and the math portion and the writing portion. Another thing that I should mention is this test needs to be done in order. So you have listening comprehension, early reading skills, reading comprehension, math problem solving, and these all need to go in order. So the test is designed in such a way that you need to go from top to bottom with this test. The test booklets are about $4 each, so try to use them sparingly. The stimulus book, this is the book for reading, receptive vocabulary, oral discourse comprehension, early reading skills, reading comprehension, math problem solving, and expressive vocabulary. And it's pretty neat. It's actually designed so that you have the student reading a portion to you or testing on a certain page, and you may have cues in the booklet to tell you exactly how to do that. And this book actually, what's different from the Wiatt 3 and the Wiatt 2 is the Wiatt 3 uses both sides of these pages, so this book is a lot less thick, but you may have trouble finding specific locations in the book, so you might want to use little sticky notes on here so that you know where certain things are, because the book does use both sides of the page, so make sure and make note of that. You have a pseudo word card, an oral reading fluency booklet. So these are stories that the student is going to go through and test on. You have your scoring workbook, and this one is used for writing. So pretty much that's about it. The Wiatt 3. I know the Wiatt 2 had a testing base of over 5,000 students, so the validity of this test is fairly well documented. There's a wealth of information on the internet, but upon doing some research, I found that the testing base was 5,000 students, which is huge. So I'm going to give you an example of how we use this test. So these are grade-based tests, or age-based, I guess you could say. So if they're in the first grade, you're going to go over here to your composite score summary, and then you're going to have subtests. So listening comprehension breaks it down from pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all the way on up to 12th grade and up. So if you were testing a student, so basically you'd point to the question here on the book. So you'd ask a question. This one happens to be a question. How many different ways are there to arrange 4 books on a shelf? And the student would answer. Whether they answer correctly or not, you'd go ahead and write in your scorebook correct or not correct. Another thing that's really important while you're doing this test is you want to make sure and look at the starting point, the discontinue rule, the timing rule, and the repetitions rule. Also recording and scoring. So then for the starting point, it's going to tell you, okay, for example, pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, you're going to start at item 1, okay, for listening comprehension. The discontinue rule on this test, and it may vary from subtest to subtest, but you have, it says discontinue rule, discontinue after 4 consecutive scores of 0. So if you're testing a student and they get 4 consecutive zeros for a score, okay, you're going to stop at that point. That's what the discontinue rule means. The discontinue rule can change from test to test. Timing, you're going to allow sufficient timing for the students to make their responses. Repetitions and item prompts may be needed. And as far as if a student says something, say an answer, and it's not exactly what you're looking for, exactly what the test says, okay, the test has a solid answer, a right or a wrong answer. If the student states an incorrect answer and then corrects themselves and does so within an acceptable amount of time, which is in the manual, you can accept that, the latter answer. So other than that, there's following the directions is the most important thing I found here with this test. As long as you read the directions first, read everything that's in bold or highlighted, that's also really important. And then you actually, when you're done with the test, you end up with a raw score. You can turn that raw score into a composite score. The composite score can tell you a wealth of different things, where the student needs help, where they're falling behind, or where they're progressing. So there's several uses for this testing kit. Thank you.